hideous, effing ugly, vile, outrageous. Does anyone need a car that big? These are just some of the comments I've had on social media this week with the BMW XM. And I get it. We're in a world now where in certain circumstances, in a car like this, you are genuinely kind of going like this. Unless maybe you've paid the astronomical €191,000 or €212,000 as this spec is. This is the most expensive press car I've ever reviewed. And I'm torn. Look at that grille, it's quite outrageous. And if it wasn't obvious enough, BMW have decided to light it up with the daytime running lights or the full headlights. The BMW badge, that kind of is normal compared to every other BMW. Even the grille, they're horizontal lines, they're always vertical. This car is probably not really made for the Irish market, but nonetheless you can buy it here. So what exactly is it? Well, it's the fastest, certainly on paper, M performance car ever made. It's an M SUV. You can't get it in any other flavour of performance or variety. You have to get the M division car. And it's the first M car that now has a hybrid strapped onto it. A hybrid that weighs half a tonne with all the underpinnings and technology of it. A hybrid that does deliver 197 brake horsepower. That's like a car, just from the electric powertrain. And that works in tandem with the 4.4 V8, giving you a combined performance of insanity. Take, for example, these wheels, 20-inch up to 23-inch, and yes, some lunatic in BMW Ireland spec'd the 23-inch gold with black rimmed alloys. Now, they're fairly unusual. They've got BMW spelled out in lettering for starters, but the profile on these tyres is really, really thin. And if you have an M car, you expect it to be kind of harsh, but if you have a car like this, you expect it to be luxurious. And the combination of the two don't necessarily work. It makes for a very, very harsh SUV ride. The entire size of the car is just, I mean, it's well over 6 feet tall. It's 2.7 tonne. 2.7. Like a little bit more and you'd need a different type of license category to drive this car. It's broken up by this gold strip on it. You can tailor that to whatever you like. During the summer I saw a black one with a red stripe. Yes, very A-Team-like, but kind of worked. Black polish down here. Black on the door handles, they're a little bit different, and it has M mirrors, which create quite a bit of noise at higher speeds. Exhaust pipes, well, it's got 4 of them, and when you set this thing alight, it looks like it's setting fire to the world. It's limited to 4,000 revs when you're at idle, but it still sounds pretty good. When you're in the car, we'll get to that. But it's massive, isn't it? So it must have a huge boot. Well, 527 litres, which is acceptable, but there's nowhere to store cables. So this BMW hold-all bag, which looks like, you know, you could fit a lot of cash into it, it's like a weekend bag for your cables. It looks very posh, very sophisticated, but it will eat into that already kind of small 527 litre boot. Also strange, they have hidden the tow bar release button in with the fuses. I mean, could they just put a bit of carpet around the button and just let us all have a look at it? This tray, there's no flexibility on it. You just kind of plonk it in there and hope for the best. You know, and it's not exactly easy to fit. I'll just take my time with it. Yeah, maybe. The boot is electrically operated, which you would expect for a car that costs €212,000. XM across here, we have a wiper. Not really much of a spoiler. They say this is a coupe-like roof, and the BMW logo is etched into the glass, kind of reminiscent of the original M1, which was the last time you could just get an M car and no other option. An M1 though, it's not. And then there's the charging bit. So the flap is here, it swings open. It will only do 7 kilowatt charging. That means it'll take 4.5 hours to charge this car to full on your wall box. It's a 29 kilowatt hour battery, which is kind of what you get in a first gen Nissan Leaf just to power this thing. It's good for up to 100 kilometers, say BMW. I charged it to full. I got to about 84 kilometers. If you're watching this in the UK, that's maybe about 50 miles. I drove it and that quickly dropped. Welcome, my friends, to the M suite of the car. And it is sweet. It's a very sweet place to be because there's branded XM cushions in the back and they're very comfortable. They go at the back or here if you want to just get very, very comfortable. But you know what, on the i7 they're just fixed to the seat and they work just as well. On some models you'll get access to the rear. That is handy. Drinks holder, it's a little bit underwhelming. I mean, I'd expect it to at least do something that it pops out. It's €212,000 after all. When this car was launched, the people behind telling you how great these cars are spoke about the lovely legroom in the back. Again, that's not really what you're expecting when you buy an M car. You want it to tell you that these seats will go on fire if you go too fast or something like that. Now, you do get lots of feet and knee and space, and there's kind of a flat floor. So don't get me wrong, it is vast in here. And it's very, very comfortable. These high backs of the seats do kind of block your view a little bit. And you can't look out the glass roof either because there isn't one. You get this kind of nightclub environment where you can change the ambient lighting around the side. When you fire it up, you have the M colours to remind you you're in an M car. And that's all very nice. But you kind of wonder, are they just using things to distract or just justify the price? I'm not quite sure. It's very comfortable to sit in the back though. And you get your own climate control, heated seats, and if you like putting stuff in door bins, well, you will absolutely love this car. Start it, and you don't hear anything. The default setting is that it will start in electric mode, which means you won't annoy the neighbours with the rumble of a V8. Now, we're getting there. Now, there's lots of lovely things in this car. Like, it is a lovely car, don't get me wrong. I open up my little tray here and I got heated and cooled spots for my drinks, but I had that in the BMW X7. These controls, X7. Yes, this steering wheel with these red don't touch me buttons and carbon fibre looking paddles are straight out of an M car. There is that, and there's carbon fibre, and you can set up your M modes with energy recovery and chassis and steering and everything. You can't turn it into two-wheel drive though, you just get four-wheel drive sand or four-wheel drive sport. But even the comfort setting, and to be honest with you, I've left it in comfort all week, it's still really, really harsh. Not harsh are these seats, they're wonderfully comfortable, the Boses are massive, these XM illuminate at night time, and really at night time it looks beautiful. There's a great sense of occasion inside the car. Then we've got the iDrive, which works in tandem with the 14.9 wraparound screen. Camera's really good quality, really wide screen. For the first time we have M hybrid, because this is the first hybrid M car. Further space down here, so again the American market will be happy out. Even the seat belts have M stitching on them, but again you can get that on a much cheaper M Sport 3 Series. Heads-up display is great, loads of different options. You can toggle between your orientation or the direction for your sat-nav or any of that kind of stuff. That's all very, very easy to navigate. I'm still in love with the fact that I can't see the sky on a car that costs you the price of an apartment. That's strange. Bowers & Wilkins sound system on board. It's okay. I think some of the Harman Kardon stuff the BMW do is just as good. We have this kind of extended leather stuff going on around the cabin, and it all feels very, very posh and very, very expensive. But there's still nothing, I suppose, that has overwhelmed me inside the car in terms of M performance and where exactly my money is going. It's lovely, but again, you get this level of loveliness in lots of BMWs. So let's go for a drive. There's a lovely little burble as you ease off the accelerator. You squeeze the massive brakes and it very, very quickly drops down the gears. If you want to intervene and choose the paddles, they're easy to use. Splashing through a puddle and just feeling ever so slightly the tires just maybe going, oh, is there enough grip there? Now, I love the idea that you can switch between the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive in lots of M cars. I think with 2.7 tonne on tap here, you might just want this thing to be permanently in four-wheel drive. For the first plug-in hybrid M car that I've ever tested, I will say the difference this week has been the difference between me filling up maybe more than once and not. And being able to charge it, it means you're doing generally 11 to 12 litres per 100 kilometres, which is okay for an M car. You really have to go through the revs to get any significant sound going on. It's definitely a bit more synthesized than M cars of the past. One thing that is really striking is the transition between battery and V8. And BMW say they've done it on purpose to remind you and celebrate the power of a V8 engine. I'm not sure I'm buying that marketing speak, because it gives you a proper whack in the back when you go from battery to petrol, and it really shouldn't be that jerky. And you can talk about reminding you of the V8 all you like, it makes it quite jerky, particularly in city centre built up traffic environments, and you'll definitely favour using it on just electric mode there. You can save some battery for later as well. And I think when you're crawling in traffic, it really is a car you want to drive in electric. It's much, much smoother. I've never had a car like this that provokes reaction from people. I have so many comments. Only on the way to filming today, a lady in a Nissan Micra beeped at me, gestured to put down the window, and just said, "Oh my God, that car. I just noticed the grille come up behind me, and now I'm beside you, I can see the wheels." And then she said, "But you know what? We can both only do 50. And she laughed. And then she noticed the roof. She goes, "Oh my God, there's lights." I mean, it is, for all the people, and I've no doubt you'll comment below and tell me how ugly this is, and BMW designers, I can't believe they're getting paid. But for everyone with that opinion, trust me, there's the same amount who love it, because it's just so different in a world where so many cars blend into each other these days. The ride is extremely firm. This is the 23-inch alloy wheel setup. They're just too thin. You feel every single bump. Does it go like the clappers in a straight line? Yes. Can you push it into corners? You can. I don't know if it's just in my head, but you're conscious, particularly in the wet, you're potentially sliding something that weighs 2.7 tonne into a hedge, and your body just doesn't really want to do that. Your brain is saying, "Nah, I want to live till tomorrow," you know. One thing that's very strange: avoid overtaking, substantial reduction in drive power possible, refuel and charge for full drive power. When does an M car tell you don't have enough power to overtake? I mean, there's 44 kilometres left in the tank. That's a bit weird. Let's test it out, shall we? I mean, it does. It sounds very, very good. You know, that bit will always, always end up putting a smile on your little face. But that, even the gear changes, they're very, very violent. The sound is just... that's what you're paying for. I do feel, though, you could just make this a really high revving petrol car, and that would be enough. I don't know if it needs to be an M car, because I don't know if it truly is an M car. Yes, it's stupidly quick in a straight line. Yes, it can make all the noises you want. The brakes are great, really grippy. The tires, you know, yeah. And then you just flick that off. Goes into hybrid mode. It's just a little pussycat. I think if you truly want an M car, you're gonna want something that's a little bit more low down. Stick a 3-litre twin turbo, even stick a diesel into this. Straight to a roundabout. Like, it is stupidly quick, and all I've said in the last couple of minutes, who am I to judge? If you want to have a high up seating position M car, you know, maybe BMW know a lot more than I do. Maybe they know that the Kim Kardashians of this world and people in the Middle East will buy these things all day long just because they're showboating cars that just happen to be really, really, really quick. And I can completely verify that if you like people looking at you in your car, they will do it in this. I think, when I'm being totally honest with you, I'd say an X5M would probably be just as much, probably more fun. However, in Ireland, that car is €229,000. This is one of the few regions in the world where the XM is actually cheaper than that car. I'll just give you the idea of our bonkers VRT system, because this car is €120 to tax for the year. So the day these cars are judged on weight, that's when these suddenly will be really crazy, just prohibitively expensive to buy. I've driven a lot of M cars, I've even owned one. The V8 in the E92 M3 sounded a lot better than this. This is kind of subdued. You get this so much more in it, but it just hasn't been unleashed. Yes, it's insanely quick, but does it really capture what an M car is truly meant to be? I'm not sure it is the case. I'm sure somebody thought, you know, let's put some M Division performance into an SUV. What's the worst that could happen? It's not a terrible car, but it's just not what you've come to expect from M Performance. Think of the M5, the M3, the Touring. You know, they are cars that will absolutely be exhilarating to drive, but don't claim to be luxurious. This is not really sure what it wants to be, and if this was just a, you know, high performance petrol without the M carry-on, then it would probably be more accepted. But if you've got this kind of money, I think I'd just buy an M5 and put the rest on the back garden. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.